I should add their scores too. That make it kind of cool.
Can you do that? Like it. Is that scrub?
Well, I mean, just add the scores to the announcement post in the group.
Oh.
KK. All right, just explain. Pick or placeholder champions for the two teams in case they want to use that. But I think we will be getting into pick ban right now, casting this Capital One Circuit game with Araephe. Looks like everyone is ready.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, and here we go. This is going to be a game between Team 10 on the blue side and Team Seksi mid on the red. Important to note that Team Seksi mid is currently undefeated 4-0 in the tournament.
That's pretty impressive to do so, especially with the short time that we got to like kind of group up together and really practice. Wait.
Well, that's a little awkward. Looks like he disconnected there.
Okay.
So, first ban is going to be Viger.
Or Vagar, depending on how you use it.
Yeah. Alright, looks like he is back in the lobby. We are going to be starting back up. Viger should come out. Looks like I am still getting the disconnected symbol. Okay, no, there he is. He's connected.
Yeah. So Lulu ban comes out. Lulu's just really good right now. It's a fairly common ban.
Yeah, she allows you so much versatility with your team composition because the side lane carries are so popular these days. If you either decide to go for a top lane carry like Fiora, Gangplank, or even Olaf, we've seen that. We saw that a couple times in the NA LCS.
Yeah.
Or just going for a Juggernaut or Jugger Jinx composition.
I feel like that Jinx is a little bit more of a target ban than just a general ban.
Right. Normally on the purple side, you'll see the likes of Elise or maybe Tom Kench banned because you really want to get those power picks out of there. But they actually do. Looks like they're target banning those last two picks, Twisted Fate and Jinx out.
Yeah. Ooh, and if Fiora comes out.
I'm really excited to see ZX Madness on this Fiora. He is a Masters in solo queue, high Masters, I believe. So even pushing that challenger status, and I think he is a top laner. So if he is the one actually playing that Fiora, a skilled Fiora is such a fun champion to watch because she has no losing matchups. The only one I can maybe think of is possibly Yorick, but
well, Yorick kind of counters like every single other top laner in existence. So.
Right.
But like, yeah, a good Fiora is an oppressive champion to play against because she has like a lot amount of tools in her kit to be able to get away, fight, and just make your day awful.
Yeah.
And
She's also pretty strong.
We see Elise and Vayne pick up.
Yeah, I'm surprised they go for the Lee Sin. Elise and Rek'Sai are both up, and those are generally considered the two OP tier A junglers at the moment. So I guess their jungler is more comfortable with that champion, but that does allow the possibility of Elise and Rek'Sai getting grabbed on the other side. They actually go for the Ashe Orianna. So I do like the Ashe pick when you're running a Fiora top lane because one of Fiora's only weaknesses is that she doesn't have a lot of engage, which you really usually get out of your top or jungler. But using Ashe will allow you to do that.
Yeah, and they're picking a lot of utilities just to really help that Fiora get going.
Yeah, that Orianna shield, so strong in the later stages of the game.
Yeah.
What do you want to see in response to the Fiora or Orianna coming out from red side?
Something that at least hover, but they already have Lee Sin. So,
hey man, when she was released, she was a top laner.
True. I mean, they could always be Lee Sin top, but I guess we're not gonna see that. Against that Orianna, I'd say something that like, yeah, maybe the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench would be pretty good against Iori.
Yeah, Tahm Kench especially good against Ashe, I believe, because you can just devour a vein out of the enchanted crystal arrow. And actually a Mundo coming in. That's a little interesting. I've never seen this matchup myself, but Mundo doesn't really have a lot of lane pressure in terms of shoving the lane and kill pressure against a slippery champion like Fiora.
Oh my god, someone's dying.
Riot Blitzcrank on the horizons.
Yeah, UMD.
Yeah, but so
here we see the Janna pick, which is we don't see Janna much anymore because of the heavy favors of carry top still. Like the bot had been needing to pick up slack for the lack of armor and engage, and she locked that in.
Right. Also, because Tahm Kench is so good at single target peel, I think Janna has fallen a little bit out of favor. Obviously, she has the Monsoon, so that's amazing, but even with the Janna, you can't really... If your AD carry gets stunned up, they might go down. I do like the Gragas jungle pick. He does have a really strong engage as well, so in addition to the versatility of using that for the disengage.
Personally, I feel like Alistair or like another engaging type of support would have been a lot better in this case. Something a little tanky to bring to the team.
Yeah. Looks like they are hovering the Ahri pick. Orianna is pretty safe to first pick, so...
Yeah. That Ziggs hover.
Six does...
played a lot lately.
Yeah, and he does bring a lot of damage later on, because their purple side is pretty much very reliant on the Vayne to put out most of their damage at the moment, but Ziggs will help with that. Oh wait, that might be a... Okay. So that was a placeholder champion. I did explain to... Yeah, so red team using that last pick to get the Cassiopeia mid. For any of you unaware, they locked in Evelynn as a placeholder, so basically what will happen is that we'll restart the game and everyone does the same picks. I guess bans don't really matter if you're doing the same picks, but as KT Challenger was saying, I have a MATLAB project to do, boys, but your MATLAB project can wait. We're playing League of Legends. They are going to just...
Who needs math when you have League? So proud. TSM's opening. TSM has tryouts.
Yeah, looks like they're going to do the same bans. You don't really need to do the same bans because it's kind of forced to pick the same champions anyways, but hopefully we'll get some lock-ins pretty quick.
Hopefully it'll just run in quickly and pick. Oh.
Throwing in a Kha'Zix, maybe a shout out to Hai. I do know Hai loves that champion. And yeah, here we go. Everyone picking their own main champions. This also allows them to avoid any confusions with swapping around. Although it looks like Verge here on the Tahm Kench with Smite might... Okay, but yeah, Cassiopeia versus Orianna. Now, Orianna has always been relevant every year, just simply because she has so much utility and she scales fairly well throughout the game. But Cassiopeia is a champion that manages to output more damage later on.
Yeah, and last time I cast Seki's game, he was really good on that Cassiopeia. So he will definitely be something to look out for.
Nice. And his name is their team name is Team Seksi Mid, so I'd be really hyped to um, be able to see if he can really get that mid lane nice and sexy, get some flashy snake plays going out.
Calm down there, Sprint. No, we're not doing anything too crazy here.
Looks like they might be going Lee Sin support and Tom Kench jungle. Something seems a little bit amiss with those summoner spells, but they do get into game. Oh my gosh. This is a huge surprise.
So this is going to be interesting.
What do you feel about Lee Sin support?
I mean, as a support player, I'd never recommend it. But if he's feeling confident about his mechanics and he can make insect plays, I mean, that'll be that'll be okay. He has some slows.
Yeah,
But
I am kind of worried that Tom Kench jungle offers pretty much no pressure early game. And Lee Sin, if you're playing, I mean, he first picks that, but unfortunately, and they expect it to be a jungler, but going against a Janna, that's going to be even tougher to actually be relevant because you can use the Janna's Howling Gale to interrupt his Resonating Strike.
and there's also a lot of like soft CC on the purple team side. There's not a lot of like hard CC outside, maybe like ult and that Tom Kench's Devour. So
Yeah,
it's you're going to have to get like a really good flank or something.
I do want to point out that Tom Kench actually scales fairly well in the jungle because you can go Devour, and if you stack a lot of health or even get a Righteous Glory, maybe an Aegis that gives you a little bit of extra health, that does increase your overall damage. So, kind of interested to see where this one goes.
Yeah, and the thing with the blue side is that with purple team's lack of CC, blue team has a huge lack of armor and tanky members, leaving all the tank to SKT Challenger.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I'm wondering if red team wants to lane swap because Ash Janna is such a strong lane. You get the bonus AD scaling off of Janna's shield. So if they want to do that, I mean, I believe Mundo does have the range to be able to farm minions. Fiora is not the worst 2v1 laner, but we'll see what they actually bring out. What do you think of Exhaust on the Cassiopeia mid?
I'm not really sure about the. I mean, she's not. I don't think TP in this case would be a good choice on her because she kind of just wants to scale up to the late game, so she's not really looking to apply pressure around the map early. So, Exhaust isn't like the worst case, but I think they. I don't know. She might have used brought it for Fiora, but I feel like maybe Healer Ghost might be better.
Yeah, pretty interesting. A lot of times you'll see Exhaust against really aggressive mids, but Orianna isn't really that. So they might just be rolling with it to counter the Fiora, I guess.
Sure.
In the later stages of the game, but
that's also because Lee Sin's also not running Exhaust. He's running,
yeah,
Ignite.
good point. So Lee Sin really wants kills, but I don't know if I'd pick Vayne as your kill lane partner in that situation.
True. So who are you voting for this match?
Well, this is a pretty interesting. I kind of want the. I'm interested to see how the Lee Sin support does, but I really want to see ZX Madness do some magic on this Fiora.
Yeah.
Above pretty much anything else. She can 1v1 pretty much any champion in the game, and Seksi actually rocking that Mystic Cassiopeia with the level 5 mastery.
You gotta see that Mundo with the level 5 too, though.
Yeah, So those are champions they're very comfortable with, even though neither of them are really in the top tier of the meta. Cassiopeia not really being up there because she's pretty vulnerable.
Yeah.
And against a lot of these carry top laners, she doesn't have the zoning range that a lot of the popular mid champions bring today. So we'll see if she gets punished for that with the Ashe Fiora Gragas.
Yeah. And that's one thing to note is like there are two really good ways for Orianna to get her ball in the middle of a team.
Yeah.
Because Fiora can jump into the middle of a fight, and most teams were going to try to dive, like trying to group up and try to squish her. So if Orianna puts her ball in her, she can ult right onto their team.
That would do a lot of damage. I guess it pretty much comes down to Tahm Kench and Cassiopeia being able to try to fend off the enemy team, but bringing two sets of primary engages, that might be a little bit difficult. But we are getting into game here. Let me just rearrange some of these summoner champion icons. I have to remember to put Lee Sin in the support position. And alright, so in the blue side we have Team 10, their top laner and captain ZX Madness playing Fiora, Zaso on that Ashe, Brodog playing Orianna in the mid lane, Ninja Lviv on Janna for support, and their jungler SKT Challenger representing Gragas. Do you want to read off the list of the red side?
Sure. On the red side, we have 813 on the top side with Mundo, sold on Kench in the jungle, Seksi in the mid with that Cassiopeia, Vayne of KSB on Vayne, and that cheesy support Lusky Dice on Lee Sin.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Alrighty. What do you think about the level 1s coming out here? Because both these teams are grouping up.
I would give the advantage level 1 to Team Purple, especially since they don't seem to be prepared for this level 1 invade.
Yeah, and Gragas actually, his body slam is really strong, but he started with his own Q, and lots of flashes coming out. Mundo trying to go for a flash cleaver. I don't think that was really worth it.
But, I mean, you also got Janna's.
Yeah, so both of those are going to be down. Unfortunately for the red side, I don't know if Vayne Lee Sin can really make any ganks happen with a Tahm Kench before Janna's flash is going to come back up, but we'll see if...
I mean, what we might see is, like, Lee Sin might stay lane or whatever to, like, level 3, and then once he gets his levels, he can start doing a roaming support type of thing.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see coming out. I guess we haven't seen that many support Lee Sins before, but I would like to see that. Especially maybe comboing it with a Tahm Kench on the other side.
True.
The foot-tongue pincer of yore. Looks like they're just going to start pretty standardly. And the bottom lane for blue side actually going to be able to get the Krugs level 1. But that's countered by the red side doing their Gromp.
Yeah. This I think Seksi. Last time I saw Seksi play this, he wasn't doing anything too crazy. He was just farming up until like a certain. He was farming. He was like just hard farming. Didn't really do too much outside of the game.
Yeah, it looks like ZX Madness does get executed there. Not really going to make a difference for all intents and purposes because he's just going to respawn right now. He actually gets there before Mundo does, so that actually might be better to die in the jungle.
Yeah, ooh, and we see some of the early action down in the bot lane.
Yeah, unfortunately he didn't get the third small raptor. But yeah, Lee Sin going really aggressive at level 2. Keep hitting Ashe, and Vayne does have a little bit of a health advantage so far.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. I would be more afraid of letting the purple team scale. Because they have a Vayne, Cassiopeia,
Yeah,
Mundo.
Tom Kench and Mundo and Cassiopeia are all very good champions in the later stages of the game, so...
Vayne as well, so...
Yeah, obviously. Maybe I should have mentioned that. Yeah, really the only mismatch I think is that Fiora will still probably be able to 1v1 Mundo if she decides to go for Blade of the Ruin King. Which is not normally an item you see on Fiora, but I think against the Tom Kench Mundo, who are going to be stacking tons of health, it might be a good idea.
Yeah.
But it looks like Mundo does have a bit of a harass advantage so far. Fiora does have 3 potions, so gonna be able to clean that up. Actually, Tom Kench is coming up into the top lane. SKT Challenger is gonna spot him out here. Is something gonna happen? He's getting ready.
Ooh.
He actually goes and pops a ward. I don't think they're really gonna be able to make something out of this.
No. Fiora's coming down, but I don't think there'll be anything. No.
Yeah, Fiora a little too far away. Gets cleavered on her way back over. Mundo's
Oh,
saying...
Greg is there with a little cheeky... Oh.
Unfortunately, he did not really communicate this well to his top laner,
Yeah.
so... If they had the pressure, they could have taken those. He just...
He does get away though, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little waste of time.
Indeed, now... Brodog taking a little bit of damage in the mid lane, but both these players are just happy to farm up. Cassiopeia does have a 5 CS lead. We'll see if she's able to bully Orianna anymore.
Yeah, and this Mundo is just... He's taking hits from Fiora, but it's like, he's just brushing them off like it's nothing. And in fact, the Fiora is actually the one with taking more harass damage.
Yeah, so... That's, she does still have all of her potions, especially since she, did get that extra money at the beginning of the game, but so far fairly tame early game,
Yeah.
despite that attempt at an invade and kill.
I mean, it was a good idea by SKT Challenger for trying to go up there before Windows Flash came back up.
Indeed, didn't really quite work out.
Yeah,
But-
it was just good. It's just that Sold was in a good spot at the right time.
He's sitting in the bottom lane now. He does still have his flash because he did not burn at level 1. And
And-
actually, pause comes out. Unfortunately, we'll see what the cause of that is. Not really sure. Maybe somebody was lagging, or looks like it resolved anyways. They just want to take a quick little breather there. But we are going to be getting back into the game. I want to see Gragas continue to be aggressive. He actually goes for the gank in the bottom side.
Oh.
Busty Dice going to try to get out. Uses a safeguard to a minion. But now they're switching targets here to KSB. And I don't know if they'll be able to get this kill. Nope. Tom Kench does come out. And Busty Dice goes back in. I don't know if he really wanted to do that. Now everyone is low. Grey Health comes out to save the day. No kills, but now Team 10 has a really strong lead in this lane in terms of safety.
And if Ash was level 6 during the time of the gank, I think they would have been able to get a kill.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe the lane was starting to push away, and she's not really quite halfway there, so it's gonna be a little while before they're able to do that. But if she keeps auto-grassing like this, it's gonna be, oh man, look at that bonus damage coming out.
Yeah, and one thing to notice though is that Windows actually, I'd say that he's doing fairly well in this lane. Getting
Yeah.
a lot of harass on Fiora.
He's doing much better than I would have thought. 813 really showing his proficiency at that champion, being able to stay safe, and Fiora hasn't really been able to punish his lack of health potions.
True, and what like you mentioned, that Ash Janabot lane is extremely harass and bully heavy.
Yeah, Lee Sin was going in so aggressively. I think they mitigated some of the poke harass that Ash is usually able to get, but that Gragas gank does give him an advantage, and now they're going to be able to bounce this wave off the turret and try to freeze it on their side next time they come back around.
Yeah, and it gives Ashe time to catch back up to the Vayne and to see us.
Yeah, unfortunately, they actually go back before hitting it to the turret, so Lee Sin is not... Well, if Lee Sin hits the minions, he's gonna shove it out, but... They might have the chance to actually freeze it for Vayne, which would be pretty bad for Team 10. You really want to try to abuse that early game power.
Yeah, but nothing too much going on besides that game. Everyone's trying to scale up 2 points when they can fight.
Yeah, I do want to say it was a fairly good response from Tom Kench to get down there, because it looked like Team 10 wanted to dive that, but they stayed off a little bit once they saw the catfish man coming out.
True. I mean, I wouldn't have tower dived it. It's a little too risky.
Right. Cassiopeia is up 11 CS in the lane, so if nothing else, she's getting a small lead. Red team is actually ahead by 400 gold when you combine that with Vayne in the bottom side. And now, look at the Vayne, she's just CSing next to her turret, so Ashe and Janna really don't want to get over there because it's so far extended into the lane. They do ward up the river, so they'll try to be able to CS, but if Lee Sin, sorry, not Lee Sin, but if Tom Kench comes around with Cassiopeia, that could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, and here we see that double jungling with the support Lee Sin and the Tom Kench.
Yeah, ZX Madness does get a little more aggressive on the Mundo and pops his ultimate. But he keeps getting hit by these cleavers, which is fairly unfortunate.
Yeah.
I also want to point out how whenever ZX Madness goes aggressive, he pops his W almost preemptively, but now he's actually going to go in, forces the flash out of Mundo. Is he going to be able to get the kill? No, does not decide to flash for under turret. I feel like he might have been able to get that if he flashes on the other side and uses his final lunge to proc his grand challenge.
I think his lunge is on cooldown, that's why he didn't try to go for it.
Yeah, nonetheless, he'll get the lane to himself now. Now Lee Sin going really aggressive, gets the insect onto Zaso. Zaso gonna try to get out of there, but a condemn saves him actually. Busty dies trying to clean up. Oh man, a great heal actually comes out to save him, but that was a lot of cooldowns, and I don't know if Lee Sin can stay in this lane anymore.
A little harass damage on the mid lane. Seksi a little low.
Yeah, Gragas still has his flash. If they want to try to dive that turret, Orianna puts the ball on him, they might be able to make something happen, but Seksi is wise to this, and he's staying fairly far back and just try to wave clear. Here comes the Tom Kench ultimate. He's behind the enemy champion, so Ashe is just going to try to go all in. First blood comes out because Ninja Low Beam's Monsoon wasn't really in range to heal his buddy. That's going to be a double kill.
That was a little misplay right there with the Monsoon. That didn't really do much of anything, actually.
Yeah, again, not the best communication because Ashe kind of accepted her fate in dying, but Janna was trying to save her. Oh man, Mundo! Just flexing his muscles. He goes where he pleases.
Yeah, and maybe soon he's gonna go all over this Fiora.
Yeah, he has been. His ultimate is still off cooldown, so even if Fiora tries to threaten him, he will have that to rely upon.
Sure. I think he's going for a first build, Deadman's Plate.
Yeah, the Deadman's Plate is actually would increase his overall mobility. Usually Mundo is known for being that really fast, just ball of meat, kind of similar to Shyvana when we saw that tank meta coming around, but
Yeah.
with his ultimate and his level 2 ninja tab, if he gets a lead in the lane and threatens Fiora, he'll probably just be able to chase her down indefinitely.
Yeah, and if he also decides to build a Thornmail, that would be really detrimental to anything Fiora is trying to do to bring her to fight.
Yeah, I want to see maybe if Gragas wants to do a 3-man gank in the top side, because he is just stacking armor in that, and he doesn't have any tenacity in the lane yet. So
yeah, if Gragas can gank top, I feel like they could get a really good kill and really get that Fiora going.
especially because now that Lee Sin is level 6 on the bottom side, if he even tried to gank that, he wasn't successful before, and Lee Sin can just use a Dragon's Rage to get out of any subsequent ganks.
Well, the thing is, like, Fiora's are like the no matter like how well he's trading against ZX Madness, he's always low. And
they are gonna go aggressive. Mundo just pops his ultimate, but now Fiora tries to flash out. A flashlight comes out from Soul Verge, and ZX Madness had a good parry on the tongue, but cannot parry that cleaver. Oh my gosh, Seksi going aggressive onto Brodog, uses the ultimate.
that was great because I canceled the TP, but I don't think even if she TP'd top, I don't think there was much she could have done.
Yeah, both of those champions were pretty healthy, even at
yeah.
So.
Not to mention, all she has is a chalice.
Yeah.
So she's not bringing a lot of damage to the fight.
So the Gragas early game advantage over Tom Kench really hasn't been used that much. And even after hit level 6, we didn't really see him go for any aggressive, explosive cast ganks. I don't know if I've seen him flash a single time this game, just not trying to abuse the early game power that Team
really
10 has.
To be abusing these lanes, because all of his lanes can technically win if he applies some level of pressure.
I do like the defensive pink warding the blue team has had, and Fiora even has a deeper ward on the red and that red tri-bush.
So their warding is fairly good.
Right. I think I'd rather see them make a little more proactive plays though.
Yeah. What's surprising to notice though is that after that bot lane fiasco happened the first time with the Gragas gank, Ashe never really gained the lead. She's 20 CS down.
Yeah, and here's SKT Challenger again. Goes in, but doesn't really make anything happen. And ZX Madness pops his ultimate, but Minnow just counters with his own.
Yeah. Lusty Dice, though, he's applying a lot of pressure, and it's keeping the bot lane off their game. And Gragas has to pay some attention to it, but he can't really do much.
Alright, he is threatening the dragon, but Lee Sin goes over and continues to be aggressive. And they're actually going to lose the pink ward for this in that bush.
Yeah. But another thing interesting to notice is that after killing the bot lane, Seksi mid didn't take the dragon, and they probably could have taken the dragon after they killed the bot lane.
Yeah, I believe Vayne was low. I don't remember the health bars of the other teammates, but interesting that you mentioned that. Yeah, and well, they are scaling more, so they don't need the 5 dragon stack, but yeah, that could have been an extra advantage they could have taken out of that bot lane game.
I mean, if it's free, why not? Like,
yeah.
Anything else in this university, if it's free, why not?
Yeah, I don't remember where Oriana was to threaten that, but
she was mid against Cassiopeia, and Cass, despite being a heavy late game skiller, she's been applying a lot of pressure on this Oriana. This Oriana hasn't been able to do much.
Yeah, we'll see if either team actually decides to go for that dragon pressure going forward. And you can see Lee Sin starting to seize some of this vision control in the river against his enemies. And ZX Madness is getting bullied in the top lane again, while SKT Challenger actually gets eaten by Tom Kench. Oh my god, that was a really good petrifying gauge from Cassiopeia.
Straight on a silver shadow. And Fiora goes back in on that.
Yeah, and he tried to flash the last lunge there. Oh, a great parry! Is she gonna be able to survive? No, cannot dodge that cleaver. Yeah, Mundo didn't really need to flash her because I think his movement speed did allow him to get away from that, but he stays alive and they trade kill for kill.
This is not looking good for the blue team.
We also, we talked about how the mid lane for Team Seksi mid isn't running the teleport, but when you have a Tom Kench jungle, that still gives you some of that semi-global map pressure, because if Tom Kench is on the top side of the jungle, you just saw right there, he's been responding to these ganks fairly well, and having that ultimate is almost like having a second teleport on your team anyways.
True. And with the Cassiopeia just like applying pressure mid, there's nothing like you either make a TP play and you as Oriana and you risk losing something else.
Fiora
really
has
awfully.
grabbed her Ravenous Hydra, finishes that as a first item, going to be building toward Mercury Treads. We'll see if she goes for the blade up! Oh man, but KSB going down so quickly here.
Great monster, but
Yeah, and is Ash going to be able to pick it up? Zaso gets one kill, but Seki's getting so low. SKT Challenger's trying to finish him up. Here comes a Fiora teleport. Is she going to be able to clean this up? Gets one lunge for the kill, and here comes a second one. Mundo's teleport's on cooldown, so a great job abusing that advantage.
a little parting parry. And they're going to get the dragon off of it.
Yeah, like you talked about, if it's free, might as well take it. SKT Challenger even tanking that himself.
Yeah.
That's what they needed.
You see this blue team, unlike the red team, is also going to take a little bit more free when they also come to the finals viewing party this Saturday.
Yeah, that is starting at 7 a.m. with the game starting at 8 o'clock a.m.
A little advertising there.
Throwing it out. Promise I'm not a sellout. Well, I guess I actually am because
Wait,
we are
I
sponsored
got
by
a phone
Capital
call
One.
from HTC. Wait, I had a call on my HTC phone.
You DC'd?
I have a call on my HTC phone.
Oh man. That
Yeah,
reminds me.
Sorry.
Believe my phone is on vibrate. Oh, KSB almost gets that one, but not quite. They're just gonna shove it into the enemy side of this lane, and we'll see if they rotate that pressure mid lane.
Yeah, that window is. He actually has a CS lead now.
Yeah, so he got that first turret, getting some of that global gold for his team. Unfortunately, Fiora did match his teleport very well in that last fight. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue to solo out Fiora.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Fiora does do decent amounts of damage, but especially once Mundo uses ultimate, because it heals percent amount of his health, I think the Blade of the Rune King might be what you want as a second offensive item. But KSB going really aggressive on Ninja Labib. He was trying to ward. A good Enchanted Crystal Arrow might be the saving grace.
He's also saving his support.
Tom Kench actually hiding behind that wall. He did get spotted out by a ward, but just in case. SKT Challenger doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, and this Lee Sin is pretty ballsy. Going in all the time. Doesn't really care.
That Gragas did max his Q. Still does plenty of damage with his percent health on the W, so now he's still in the bot lane though, and he didn't really get it to work the first time. I think he's just wasting time now. He could be getting his Raptors like Tom Kench is.
And it's kind of weird that you have like this Fiora who's going to be like the biggest damage dealer in your team, and you're kind of neglecting to take care of that lane.
Yeah, she is building toward the Black Cleaver second item, which of course is a standard build path for her. Will be able to get some of that armor down, but Seksi gets hit by the explosive cask. Unfortunately, the body slam doesn't come through, but Brodog has enough lockdown for it. Tom Kench tries to use his Abyssal Voyage, but a little, too late.
Yeah, swaddles away inside.
Unfortunately, the dragon is still down. But actually, bottom lane was roaming up. That might be a bit of a mistake. Where's the Ash Arrow? There it is. That's going to be at least one kill. Are they going to be able to follow up onto Vayne? I don't know, but a flash coming from Brodog. He really wants to help out his team. 2-0-3 at the moment.
Yeah, and that any type of lead that Seksi did was building, they kind of just lost it. They're still a little bit ahead, 500 going back.
Yeah, and they do have the late game. That will help. SPD Challenger diving the turret here. If blue team manages to get the mid lane turret, that would actually be pretty significant. Looks like they're following so deep for this kill. I don't think that's what you really want to do. Obviously not, since he just got devoured. But no, here comes Brodog with the save, and exhaust actually comes out from him. They will be able to pick up Janna, but here comes the rest of the team. Mundo is still in the top lane. Where are you going, buddy? I know you do what you please, but team probably needs you.
Yeah, and this Seksi mid is just making too many mistakes.
Yeah, so, however, now that Mundo is down here, it is a little more difficult to siege the turret. They do have the Lee Sin with his flash back up if he wants to insect somebody, so Janna is going to have to be on point when she gets back with her monsoons. Or Howling Gales.
Sure.
And red team pretty much lost all ward coverage on the bottom side of the map. They only have that one near their red buff. So
yeah, there's a lot. There's really good vision. Not really good, but there's a lot more vision for blue team.
now that blue team all went back, I want to see red side try to group up and get some of that warding into Team 10's jungle, but it looks like Tom Kench and Vayne just want the CS.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Mundo has the CS lead over Fiora. Not how we saw that going.
Yeah, well, Mundo's just played very well, being able to try to prevent Fiora from hitting all of her vital points. But now they're actually going in. I think this might be an all-in here. The grand challenge does come out. Is she going to be able to get all 4 of them? She hits 3 of them. Where's the last one? Not quite going to be able to pick that up. A good lunge dodges that lever, but Mundo is so fast with the dead man's plate. This is getting really intense. Now Mundo's ultimate is down, so Fiora will be able to catch up with the black lever, and she gets 1 more vital. Oh, jeez. Forces the flash out of Mundo, but that does show that she has the confidence and ability to 1v1. A good flash saves Seksi from getting ulted into the enemy.
yeah. And seems like blue team, who were like 5 minutes ago and showing no signs of life, just suddenly got revived somehow.
And red team is grouping mid for a siege, but they don't really have a good siege composition. Cassiopeia is too short range to really zone like you would use with a Viger or Victor, and Vayne not gonna have the most auto attack range for that.
And another thing to notice, outside of the Cassiopeia, they don't have a lot of wave clears.
Yeah, that is, but looks like actually all of blue side went down toward the dragon, so Team Seksi mid does take that opportunity to grab the mid lane turret. I think they try to go for the dragon. I think they're a little more worried about the rest of their base. Gonna fall back into their own jungle. Does red team want to fight this?
I'd say so, because no.
Fiora's teleport is up, but there's no great words. They do put one in the pit right now, so he's gonna come in. We'll see what goes where the Ash Arrow actually misses. Are they gonna be able to get busted? ZX Man is trying to kill them, but he does get one. Mundo Cassiopeia getting pretty much invincible here, or Mundo is at least, and Cassiopeia is completely untouched as a result. I don't know if Fiora really wanted to focus Lee Sin in that fight. She didn't even get the kill early on, but now Vayne and Cassiopeia are still alive. They can continue to eat through the enemy side.
Yeah, that Fiora, although she teleported and she does bring a lot of damage, she was kind of caught out and separated from the group and wasn't really able to do much damage at all.
Yeah, that shockwave was not enough to really make a difference in that. And Mundo gonna blow his teleport in the mid lane. I think he will save his turret.
Yeah. One interesting to note is that Gragas did get that dragon steal.
Oh yeah, so he did. So that is fairly nice for them, because dragon number 2, because if they want to stack the 5 dragons, that is one way they can fight Team Seksi mid in the late game. But now Tom Kench is here against Fiora. What are you doing, buddy? You're just a catfish. Get out of there. Oh, she does get the grand challenge, which means she's gonna be able to heal, but a 1v2 is never what you want in any day. And I think they're gonna be able to clean up ZX Madness here. He is doing a lot of damage though.
He is. Janna's here.
Nice room from Ninja Low-B, but that might prove to be fatal. And Lee Sin goes on to her. But the Baron buff is actually, well, not Baron buff, Baron is trying to spike through the enemy team. Dog gets slowed. I don't know if they want to keep doing this because SKT Challenger is here. Now Ash is in the fight. If she gets a good Enchanted Crystal Arrow off on somebody, they might be able to focus them down. Here they go. A good explosive cast focuses down one person. I think they can Baron.
Yeah. And that's the team fighting power that this blue team just has.
Right. SKT Challenger does not really get stunned by that, so now they get the killing spree, opting to get some turret pressure instead of the Baron, which is overall safer anyways.
Yeah.
Now
I mean,
they
look,
kill.
the jungler is up, so.
Yeah, that's important to know. He's just gonna try to wave clear. Ash gets a mid lane, but now they're trying to catch onto Gragas, but Lee Sin doesn't do any damage. You're just a support, buddy.
That Fiora is just really starting to run away with that game.
Yeah, really good positioning in that fight, at least being able to proc the vitals at every turn. And now Ash Janna able to secure the mid lane. I also pointed out that Tom Kent scaled very well with the Devour, but he actually went Cinderhope, so he's not going to get that extra scaling. And a good juke by Fiora dodges the Sonic Wave. Is she going to be able to get away from Mundo? Ninja Low-B try and take one for the team. It's actually a bait all along. Here comes Orianna. Is she going to try to get the Shockwave? Only hits Mundo though, so it's now Vayne and friends versus the world. ZX Madness going to try to get away. A good Howling Gale stuns up 3 of them. So much going on here. Double disengage comes out from blue side. They're going to be able to escape.
Yeah, and red team, I think they blew a lot of ults and didn't get much out of it.
Indeed. Now red team's actually pinging the Baron. They don't really have any vision control of this. Once the explosive cast comes back up, they really don't want to be around that Baron pit because Grax has been pretty on point landing those.
Yeah, but like one thing to notice is that their entire red side, the enemy red side for the blue team is completely lit up.
Yeah, they got so many deep wards when they're getting that turret pressure, and that so many teams this tournament that I've cast have not really been following their aggressive movements with proper warding, but blue team has really done a good job with that right now.
Yeah, and it seems like they're just gonna try to bait this Baron.
Yeah, the double warding in that bush from Seksi and his friend. Actually, Mundo's going down to the bottom side. He does have teleport, but that means that they're not really gonna have a big body in front of their team for the moment.
Let's teleport back up. We're good.
Yeah, I think they want to send Fiora down there because she did show the propensity to be able to 1v1 Mundo in that. But actually, the Talisman of Ascension gets popped. They don't really catch anyone out. But they do get one deep ward behind the turret.
Yeah. Fourth.
And Mundo's just going to continue to shove that bottom lane. So ZX Madness and friends making a decisive call to shove the top. This is what you want to do. No more dilly-dallying. They need to make something happen. They do get the turret now.
Now, it's important to see if Mundo can answer that. Which I don't think he will.
Yeah, especially with the teleport coming out from ZX Madness. When blue team was sieging that turret, I really would have liked to see Tom Kench use his ultimate to get behind them into a Lee Sin kick. Actually, Fiora's one-going Mundo, but in the meantime, it's a 4v4 in the top side. Ash uses her arrow to disengage. The rest of red team can't get away. Fiora does not manage to proc her ultimate. Now Mundo might have the edge. Oh my god, they're re-engaging in the top side. This is getting so epic.
Meanwhile, the epic battle in bot lane.
Great proc! Fiora gets the solo kill! Now she's going to be able to continue this to push this lane, and nobody else on red side is going to be able to stop her. If she keeps shoving that out, they could transition that into Dragon number 3. Seksi actually using his ultimate on the Ninja Low-B. He gets smoked! And now Soul Merge trying to escape with his friend there, but the is the shield gonna be enough? I thought he was already gone. Seksi, SKT Challenger trying to finish him up. A Bro Dog. How are red teams staying alive here? Okay, Seksi does go down now. KSB forced to 1v1 Ash. Everyone's getting so split up in this fight.
And a 3 for 1.
Yeah, and
that's a really good trade for Seksi mid. Although they do trade over the dragon.
yeah, so getting the third dragon is really vital for their win conditions. So I think I would give the edge to Team 10, just because the gold lead is, they do still have a bit of a gold lead, and they have pressure on the waves. So Team Seksi mid isn't really able to punish that in any way, but we'll see who makes the next proactive play.
Yeah, and I guess for now, one of the most important things to do is try to really set that vision back up, so then more plays can be made.
Indeed, you can see that ward, those wards expiring pretty soon. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now Fiora is shoving an entire wave down on the bottom side, but she doesn't have any of her own, so she cannot really engage Vayne in a 1v1. There goes one ward. One important thing to note is Mundo still has teleport, so he's on the top side, which unfortunately is the same side as Baron. So even if he puts pressure there, having the entire team go up and answer him does not really cede any advantages to the other side of the map. Yeah. But they might just have this because maybe KSB is confident enough in his ability to 1v1 Fiora.
And wards coming down.
And I really like that choice by Fiora. Well, it's really interesting at least, but I do like it nonetheless. She was building a BF sword, which I originally thought was going to be a Bloodthirster, but oh man, a 2-man petrifying gaze from Cassiopeia! An instant teleport response from Mundo. He cancels it, however. Really nice use of the vision there.
Yeah.
Oh my god! ZX Madness! I did not know that you could trigger the repost, use the repost to trigger the Grand Challenge procs, but apparently ZX Madness knew. However, red team's on the Baron.
Like he's master. And we're not. That's it.
I think I'm able to defend their inhibitor, though they can't really kill this very quickly without Vayne.
Yeah.
So I think they're actually gonna peel off here. Busty Dice getting saved by his frog buddy. Seksi gets hit with the shockwave. Mundo does not really care about that, however. And Fiora's getting the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor. Meanwhile, the rest of the blue team just trying to make it work in this fight. And Asher almost hits, but not quite. Oh man.
I don't think that they'll be able to get much more out of this. Mundo's going to try that.
Yeah, and you can see Fiora there just abusing the movement bonus from her Black Cleaver. I said that I would like to see the Blade of the Ruin King, but if you can make it work in 1v1s against Mundo and the Vayne, that is completely fine. Having that, also having that Essence Reaver gives her the mana to be able to continue these prolonged fights against the super tank like Mundo and Vayne. Even when she respawns, they're going on to top Kench now.
A beautiful carry.
Everyone trying to finish this Nexus turret here. Are they going to be able to win this game here? SKT Challenger gets the aggro from the turret. Oh, huge 3-man knock wave. Stops them at the Nexus. And now Team 10 trying to escape.
Team 10 is really close here to break. Ooh, lots of damage. But yeah, Team 10 here is about to break. Team 10 is about to break
the winning streak from Team 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty phenomenal. Trying some unconventional Lee Sin support, and he has played fairly well, I believe, but he hasn't really been the one. He hasn't really been there to be the engaged that they need him to be.
He hasn't really, to be honest, he hasn't really done much of anything. Sure, he was annoying in like laning phase, but after that he kind of just like kind of just like a liability.
Indeed. Janna throws out a dangerous ward. If they got engaged on there, that might have been... If she got engaged on there, that might have been kind of dangerous, but that's one of the problems with the team composition from Red side, is that they do have a problem with that. When you're against sieges, which has happened quite often this game, you can use Tahm Kench's ultimate to get behind them with somebody like Lee Sin or Mundo, but they just haven't done that outside of the laning phase.
Yeah, and blue team is really starting to put the pressure on this Baron.
Yeah, and
Fiora's
Fiora's...
pushing.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Fiora going in the bottom side instead? Oh my god, actually, Seksi kills Janna. I didn't even see that.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Oh! Holy moly.
And I think
ZX Madness versus the world! Is he gonna be able to escape? He gets hit with a cleaver! That's not good news! I don't know if he's gonna be able to come out of this alive. He already used his ultimate to try to survive! Is he gonna be able to get out? No! Poisoned up, and he does get Vayne at least.
yeah,
The rest of his team is fair.
fairly worse.
And Lee Sin actually goes in for an insect, but SKT Challenger able to flash out of there. Now that Orianna is here, I don't think Team Seksi Mid can continue engaging, but actually here comes Tahm Kench to try to eat him up. The explosive cast completely whiffed. Now SKT Challenger is slowly getting licked to shreds. Oh man, Orianna does kill Lee Sin, and now Mundo's getting stunned up. SKT Challenger is so tanky here, but a two-man knock, stun from Seksi rather, from his ultimate.
Great
Good
Janna
monsoon also by the Janna.
And this was, again, the superior team fighting that the blue team brings to the game.
Yeah, so much lockdown, and now they're getting Dragon 4.
And we're seeing the problems that from the lack of CC that the purple team is bringing in.
Yeah. What do you think Team Seksi Mid can do to try to get back into this game?
I'd say that they would try to turtle. No, actually no. Scratch that. Well, I'd start with trying to reclaim whatever vision they can, and maybe make a pick.
Blue team is mostly a base now, so if they group, they might be able to get some wards in their jungle at least. But I think just holding on to the inhibitors and trying to allow your Vayne to hit that 6 items, pretty important. I also want to see a Zeke's Harbinger from somebody on Team Red, because they have this hybrid carry Vayne, but if Ashe has her Zeke's already, she's still going to be doing tons of damage, whereas Vayne not going to be doing the maximum possible, which is really what you need at this point in the game.
Yeah. And I don't know, Cassiopeia has her items now.
Yeah, that is true. She's at 5 items. The only defensive thing she has is the Seraphs, although we saw how useful the shields were before. And Tahm Kench's trying to get a little cheeky.
Another thing to notice is that only 2 people in purple team has upgraded their trinkets, but everyone on the other team has upgraded their trinkets.
Yeah, that is really important, actually. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, so it's one reason why the blue team has so much more vision dominance this game.
And unfortunately for the red side, Fiora is split pushing that bottom lane. So a great call by Team 10. They actually go up to the opposite side of the map because you saw Mundo and Lee Sin roaming over to try to help Vayne defend. But now that they're in the opposite side of the map, they can't do that. And if Tahm Kench is here, he can try to ult over, but they really can't stop Fiora at this point.
Yeah, there's no one that can answer her.
Good
Mundo's going to try.
ZX Madness keeps dodging one ability with lunge, and then... Oh man, Seksi actually completely getting obliterated in that while they try to chase down Fiora, but if you get the top laner, you lose your inhibitor. This is a lose-lose situation. Tahm Kench gets his meal, though. At least he kills Fiora.
What?
Yeah. They do kill the Fiora, but the rest of blue team is inside the base. This might be Team 10 handing their opponents their first loss. This will be huge kills. That'll make them 2-2 in the group. SKT Challenger is so tanky yet again. Even though they have Vayne, she just cannot stay in the fight long enough to be able to kill him.
Yeah, and I guess this is where the fight ends. Try to group up.
Yeah,
And Mundo still wants this.
Mundo, so what, sorry?
Mundo still wants this, but didn't really get much out of it.
Yeah. He does only have one item left to try to, probably building that into a Thorn Mill to try to beat Fiora.
Or it could be a Guardian Angel.
That is true. I mean, he's so hard to kill already. Killing him twice would be almost impossible. So, see if that is what he decides to build. Red team does throw out a few wards in the jungle right now, so that is good. But like you said, they really need to use some upgraded sweepers and clear out not only their base, but the surrounding perimeter.
And this is surprising because when I casted their other game, their vision game was extremely good, and they choked the vision out of the other team. And this game, they're just letting it slide really hard.
Indeed, they're in such a tough spot right now because the Team 10 does have 4 dragons, and that's coming up in a minute, but Baron is coming up in a minute and a half. So if they get Fiora to continue to shove out this bot lane like she's doing right now, Red side is gonna have such a tough time answering that as well as the top lane super minions.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, blue team has so many choices right now. They can either choose to do the split pushing game and just force red team apart and try to pick a team fight or win, or they can bait dragon or Baron.
Yeah,
They can pick either.
I think they just really want to shove the mid lane right now, get the pressure so they can peel back for the objectives. We'll see if a fight breaks out before that because Team Seksi mid doesn't really want to allow that to happen.
Yeah, what Seksi mid has to do in order to get back into the
Right, I think
not a lot of options right now.
you might be forced to even just use a flash petrifying gauge from Cassiopeia to try to start a fight at this point because once Janna got the Talisman of Ascension, even engaging with the Tom Kentshold is still fairly difficult, especially because you have the Janna Explosive Cask to disengage a little. But we have seen Seki get some really good flank ults off before. Is he going to be able to pull some off now? Blue team sitting around the Baron.
Teleports are up,
Continuing to snuff out this vision, but a couple wards one ward still lasts for Team Seksi mid, but actually, Fiora's going all in onto Mundo. Is she going to be able to kill him completely? That one Nexus Turret is down, so it won't be able to help him, but look at how fast he is. That Dead Man's Plate being pretty helpful in that regard. And now, actually, here comes the rest of the red team to try to help him out. A flash ultimate from Gragas means that Cassiopeia is going to go down.
Really low. And
oh man, this is the same situation we saw last time. They do manage to kill the Fiora, but at what cost? Earlier it was the inhibitor, now it's the Baron, then it's gonna be Dragon number 5. My goodness, and that Ash arrow not really quite hitting the mark, but if you have Baron and 5 dragons, you don't really need enchanted arrows.
yeah, you have like arrows covered in dragon blood.
Yeah, that sounds pretty enchanted to me. At least gruesome.
I mean, I don't know.
Fiora does have her teleport, so once she comes up in 30 seconds, which is about the time it takes for another minion wave to hit the turrets, she will be able to she still will be able to join the fight, and she's at 6 items now, so the scariest she's gonna be for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, and you see that though now coming out from window, but is there anything he can really do at this point?
Unfortunately, they're just running out of options to deal with this. Vayne has to go back to save her Nexus, and they don't even have Fiora up, and they're losing to the split push 4v5. So they lose one inhibitor. They're about to lose the second one. Fiora does come in with that teleport like I was talking about earlier. Here comes SKT Challenger. The explosive cast only hits Cassiopeia to the side, but they don't.
Cassiopeia had a failed ult though.
Yeah, they don't really need to engage at this point in the game anymore. Oh, man! They're just going for the kills while the minions finish it off. That's the win to Team 10. 2-2 in the groups, trying to claw their way out of the group stage.
And for the first part, that was going extremely well for Team Seksi mid, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so that was very well played by Team 10. We criticized their lack of aggression early game, but
They really made it up.
yeah, once the mid game turned on, they really followed Gragas' lead with those engages.
56k damage from both the mid laner and the Fiora.
And especially ZX Madness, even though he was losing the lane earlier on.
He lost lane so hard, but came back. And one thing that's interesting is that the Vayne did less damage than the Tom Kench and the Mundo.
Yeah, that's well, Tom Kench does scale fairly well, or the Lee Sin.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the most striking thing about this is that Vayne really didn't contribute much. KSB,
No, really
even
good.
though she was at 5.5 items, just not able to stay safe in the fights when you're against the Shockwave, the Aura, Gragas Ultimate, and Ashe Ultimate.
Yeah, she kind of just disappeared in these fights.
That is one of the weaknesses of the Lee Sin support. Now I am going to go cast the Nightcrawler in his game versus somebody.
Alright, and I have to prepare for my game, so I'll be seeing all y'all later.
Alright, thanks for casting with me.
No problem.
I'm just gonna Alright, yeah, this thanks for casting with me. Anyways, Araephe, I will restart the stream. So I can update the name, but we're about to get into another great match. Be right back, friends.